With the earth sign, there's an element of stability here. There's an element of practicality as well. You are going to be making a blueprint somehow with this Knight of Pentacles, with the earth sign, as to where you want to be, where you're headed for the rest of your life, okay? And I do feel that if this is on the work front exclusively, I do sense that it has a lot of stability, it has a lot of longevity, and it is a very practical route. I would also say that it can be very exciting as well because of, you know, all the possibilities that are laid out before you, okay? But at this point, you are still in the initial stages of planning. If you are planning like a work project with an earth sign, I do feel that it is going to come to fruition in a way that is very like fortuitous, that is very beneficial for you as well, mainly because we have your card at the end of the month coming in, and this is a wish card. This is everything you've dreamed about and hope, okay? So it is very important to be, first of all, look at the bigger picture, all right? So in the midst of things, sometimes we might not be, you know, far-sighted enough. So what I mean is that if they are offering you a job, for example, and you're just like, okay, I want a lot of financial gains, but you're in a job where you're not happy, that's not going to work, okay? It's not going to work long term, and it's not going to allow you to excel at your best in that work environment. And additionally, so like I mentioned, be careful about, you know, what it is that you want. So ultimately, you want to say that you want a job that is emotionally fulfilling, that is intellectually satisfying, because I know Aquarius, as an air sign, you need to be intellectually stimulated in order to be happy in the work front. In relationships too, you need a partner who's very intelligent, who stimulates your critical thinking skills, who stimulates your creativity. So you need those things in order to truly respect a partner. So what I would say as well is, you know, you are going to get whatever it is that you want. So make sure you are clear with this employer. If it is somebody offering a job, make sure you are clear about your expectations up front, okay? Because he or she is coming in bearing a gift to you. So I do feel that whatever it is, they are going to meet you halfway. If this is a work situation in which you are negotiating with another person based on salary, or for, you know, job positions or hours and things like that, there are going to be multiple stages in the negotiation process. So what I'm sensing is they're coming in, you're kind of like, I'm not sure if I really want to do this, and then the Wheel of Fortune is forcing you both to have like discourse over whatever it is that this person is trying to offer you, okay? On the relationship front as well, I do feel that a lot of you might have like an earth sign in your midst who is offering, who is almost like offering, there's like attraction between the two of you, but you're kind of skirting around the issue. So both of you are kind of like doing this dance where, you know, the physical attraction is there, but the timing is off, okay? So I do feel that this can be somebody in your work environment that it has potential for love and, you know, romance, but the timing is not there yet for with this earth sign, okay? And then a lot of you are dealing with like water signs who are very emotionally blocked, okay? So when I say emotionally blocked, I'm looking at these two men. They can be male or female, and what I am sensing is this. You are dealing with somebody who is potentially a water sign, like a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer, and they don't really have that much to offer. You know, like water signs are very kind people, and water signs are very emotionally in tune with whoever it is that they're dealing with. They're showing up in the reverse position, one after the other. What I am sensing is this person promises big things, but they don't really deliver. And then secondly, they're very guarded, and they're guarded in a way that's like, they have trouble letting you into their personal life. They have trouble sharing, you know, their deepest, darkest fears. And it's really difficult and they're quite moody as well. And one of the danger of, you know, like a very repressed water sign, one of the dangers that you are going to potentially deal with is that whenever whenever they feel threatened, they resort to, withholding affection. They resort to like emotional um, manipulation in order to get you to do the things that they want. Okay, so for example, if there are jealousy within the relationship, instead of admitting that they're jealous, because that would mean that, that would leave them vulnerable. That would leave you to think that you mean a lot to them, and they don't want to be put in that situation where their weaknesses are exposed. Okay, I'm almost getting like a scorpion energy with this Knight of Cups. Okay, but the Scorpio card is showing up here too. So I would say like the emotional, I guess the emotional manipulation is going to come into the picture much later on, because this person is very guarded and you're not going to see their true colors until like you're really emotionally invested in them, and then you're starting to realize that, okay, this is not what I signed up for, because it, as an air sign, you're not comfortable with the realm of emotion. So it is going to be a little bit difficult trying to work with this water sign, or trying to establish any type of a relationship with this water sign, because they are a little bit they're just so guarded. It's hard for you to, they're just, first of all, it's a different element, and then secondly, it brings up a lot of uncomfortable feelings between you and the other person, and it's mainly because, you both have such a great impact on one another, that it's like a very heavy, a very somber, a very melancholic type of relationship. Okay, so I am reading here, I'm sensing this is going to be more of a Cancer Pisces energy, because we do have the Death card, which is the card of Scorpio. A lot of you might be dealing with a Scorpio person as well on the dating front. And this is actually something that is very fruitful. Okay, so if this is a new person, great, go ahead. The only thing about this Scorpio person is that there's a little bit of lack of a commitment here. Okay, because it is preceded by the King of Wands. This is somebody that controls his domain, that is very like in control of his actions, that is accountable for his actions, and who's also in control of his libido. In the reverse position, there's a little bit of a player energy. They might have like multiple women on the side, so it is very important. I do feel that they're going to be honest with you about this, because their card is showing up in the upright position. So they're going to be honest with you about this, but in terms of like establishing a very stable monogamous type of situation, if that's something that you're after, it is going to be hard. Okay, so if you are debating between multiple partners, go with the earth sign. It's just the easiest choice. Okay, and this earth sign actually has there are a lot of good cards associated with him or her, so your best bet is going to be with this earth sign. That's just my thing. And additionally, the first card out is the Knight of Pentacles. Last card out is your card. It's sort of like the other person is meeting you halfway. This is, the ideal egalitarian relationship here, because they're bearing something. They're bearing fruit. A lot of you might be also involved in an earth sign in a work situation, or in any type of joint venture in which there is an element of like spreading the word, educating others, and even like working on humanitarian causes. Because what I am sensing here is, there's that star element. He or she is paving the way for you, so that you can come into your own and that you can develop to your full potential. Okay, if this was like a king, then I would even say like it's somebody like a mentor. However, I don't feel that like it's completely a mentor. It could be, but because it's a knight energy, I do feel that this person is somehow, they're, through their actions, through their support, through their through your association with them, you're able to develop to your full potential. You're able to expand your mind, expand your consciousness, even expands your sense of like spirituality. Okay, so this is a very, very good energy. And you know, first card, last card. I always look at the interaction between these two to see how the month is going to unfold for you. So I do feel if you're debating between, you know, multiple partners, use your discretion, but at the same time, you know, the earth sign, it feels like is the only one that that backs up his actions, or that backs up his words with, you know, concrete actions. Okay, all the other court cards are showing up in the reverse position, so I'm going to read them a little differently just because a lot of people are involved in the card in the spread. So I want to say first of all that for those of you who are dealing with a Scorpio, okay, if this is a new person, or this, if this is somebody that has, you know, gone through their Saturn transit without you in it, there is a possibility that you can rekindle things and it can work out this time around. Okay, usually I don't say that, you know, you can get back with exes. I don't feel that most of the time is going to work. If it didn't work the first few times, it's just not going to work now. Okay, but you know where you stand with them. With a Scorpio, I feel at this point you know where you stand with the Scorpio. So give it another try if that's something that you want. I do feel there is an element of a water sign from the past coming back in for a lot of you. If it's new energies, I do feel that you should be a little bit careful, because this water sign is a little bit they're a little bit of a talker. Okay, so you're not going to get anything concrete with them, so they're going to leave you kind of high and dry as well. With the Scorpio, there is a lack of commitment here. There's a lack of they are sincere about you, but I don't feel that they're completely looking for a relationship. Okay, so that's the thing. And for those who are dealing with air signs, I do sense that like a Gemini, a Libra, or another Aquarius, I do feel as well that there is going to be an element of it's sort of like, first of all, it's clash in values. Clash in values. There have been multiple run-ins with this person where you don't really know, you don't really know if you can create a life together with one another, because you're so different. Okay, you believe in different things, you want different things out of life, and there's almost like an air of argumentativeness about this person, or you know, they just spark that within you. So the intellectual rapport is really strong between you and this fellow air sign, but it is difficult to establish any type of a clean cut, even a romantic relationship. So the emotional aspect of that relationship might have been missing, or it might be missing when you associate with a an air sign. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Okay, so in terms of the relationship, I would say, you know, if you're in this situation where you're kind of like hit left and right by a lot of potential love interest, by a lot of prospects, I do feel that, you know, take the time and really date. Enjoy the dating process. Okay, don't rush into anything. Don't come in with like a clean cut agenda with a timeline of, you know, so I want to be in a serious relationship and I want to be married by a certain age. I want to have children by this age. Don't come in with an agenda. I mean, it's important to know what you want and to stick by it. But I do feel that because a lot of new love interests are coming in, you want to keep yourselves open. Okay, you want to like first of all, it's always like, you know, that whole thrill of that initial excitement, or that infatuation stage, that lust stage. It makes the relationship very desirable. Okay, so don't jump ahead of the game. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Don't fall head over heels too fast for this month. Mainly because I do feel a lot of people are not what they seem. Okay, we're not dealing with like any Mercury in retrograde, but we do have like the Venus in retrograde. So it is very important for you in general to just be really cautious for the first 2 weeks, and ask those important questions. I don't feel you're going to have trouble doing so, but I would just say that take people at face value, okay? If there is somebody, a lot of you might be very drawn to a water sign, and this is, I'm sensing like it's almost like a new water sign. A lot of you might be drawn to a water sign that is, and you really have to be discerning about this person, okay? I don't feel they're a bad person, but the things that they want from life are not going to be the things that you want. So, for example, you both might want, you know, 2 children. You might want to have a state. You might want like a house in the country, but you might want marriage, whereas the other person might not. Okay, so it's sort of like in the bigger scheme of things, you might want the same things, but when it comes down to like whether or not you want to be in a monogamous relationship, whether or not you want marriage, whether or not you want to settle down in the country versus like an urban area, there are a lot of differences, innate differences, and they're not going to change, mainly because backing them is the King of Swords, okay, in the reverse position. So this is somebody who's so fiercely independent that they're just not going to be relationship oriented enough, and it's sort of like you both don't see things eye to eye, like you don't agree on a lot of things. So take the time to really get to know this person before you invest yourself emotionally. I feel that it can work out. We all can compromise and things like that, but you're going to get into a situation where it's like hopeful thinking. You're thinking that the other person is going to change, and whenever you're in that situation where you feel like, oh, they'll come around. No, they're not. They're not. Okay, so it's a very well, first of all, it is a little bit ridiculous to think that the other person will change, gradually. If they tell you they want something, take it at face value, okay? If they tell you this is what they're about, I would say take it at face value until they prove otherwise, okay? So there are going to be a lot of revelations as well when it comes to other people, when it comes to like where you stand with them, and when it comes to whether or not some people are even worth being in your life, if they're even worth pursuing, okay? At the heart of it, I wouldn't worry. 3 of the court cards are in the reverse position, but we do have one prominent figure that is coming in early in the month, and this is the person that is going to be, knight in shining armor. So it's sort of like, I mentioned this for the Aries reading, the weekly reading, that they're going to get, the one. The person that is, everything they've hoped for. I do feel for this month, you're being hit by this energy as well, okay? So it's like you're going to meet somebody who is kind of like your ideal type, somebody who's not a bit, who delivers, who doesn't just make promises, they follow through. This is somebody with concrete actions, okay? And you're going to be able to figure out where you stand with them, and because of it, it is allowing a sense of purpose into your life. You're going to figure out how you want to move ahead and what you want to move ahead with, and with whom as well. So in general, a lot of you, for those especially who have recently walked away from a fire sign and are now dating like an earth sign. So fire signs are Aries, a Leo, and Sagittarius. For those of you who have recently walked away from a fire sign, there is also a situation of them trying to circle back in. A lot of you are not going to give them the time of day. I would advise you not to do it. I strongly would advise you not to, because the Death card, which indicates like new beginnings for you, new beginnings in love, in life, like a new lease on love, a new romantic encounter, is going to be in the picture. So if you're just hanging on to that relationship where you're not completely happy, just scrap it once and for all and allow new opportunities to come in for you. Even though the new opportunities might be with people who you don't really see eye to eye with, it has a lot more, it looks a little more promising, and it has a lot more potential, okay? So just take it for what it is. And honestly, life is just too short. Don't hang on to old situation and outdated mode of thinking, because they are preventing you from reaping new rewards that are coming through for you, okay? So you have a very good card coming in, and I feel like this energy is going to permeate the rest of the month, and it is going to be very beneficial as well. So in general, the work front, a lot of plans and a lot of ideas are solidifying. So you are gaining a sense of purpose for this month. And I do feel that we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is an opportunity for a lot of old people from your life to cycle through with their own issues, with their own drama, with, stirring up trouble. And it can be in friendships, it can be in the work environment, or it can be in romance. A lot of you are kind of like bombarded, hit left and right by exes, by friends who might like want, to push, like to escalate the relationship, take the relationship to the next level. And you don't really know what you want to do, whether or not you should pursue it, because you don't want to damage the friendship. So this is something that you're going to have to grapple with, but I do feel a lot of abundance is coming through for you. Luck is going to be on the upswing by the end of the month once you are able to release everything from your past, okay? And honestly, what I am sensing is you are being thrown with a lot of like distraction on the love front, which is nice. I feel that it's nice because a lot of you took months, since January, a lot of you have been trying to heal from past disappointments and past hurts. So right now the universe is basically rewarding you with a lot of potential suitors. Don't let your work situation fall on the wayside as a result of new romance encounters or romantic encounters, or even new romance, okay? Mainly because we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position, so make sure that you're focused. It's sort of like that balancing act, but what I am sensing is you're going to be quite happy, okay? And you're going to be like dating, for those of you, dating a lot of people, for those of you who are single. And there might be a lot of flirtations as well for those who are in relationships, where it can create hostility and jealousies and insecurities from your love partner. So figure out how much time you have for this month. Figure out what's important. So work should come first, obviously. I feel like it's really important for you to get the work situation sorted out first. And then, out of all the potential suitors, narrow down a few, and then, you can proceed with dates and getting to know them, okay? Because people are not going to be what they seem. There's a little bit of a transient energy. There's also that element where people are like approaching you on their best behavior, but once you get to really know them, you find out that they're nothing like they made themselves out to be. So be careful about that. In general, it is going to be a tremendously romantic month. It is going to be very, very exciting, and you're not going to get that much sleep, honestly. So, try to don't procrastinate, take care of responsibilities, keep work on the forefront, and relationship, they can wait. That's actually a very good thing as well. If you can delay the relationship, the people who are going to stay behind, who, will wait for you, are the ones worth being with anyways.